Summary of The Last Lesson by Alphonse Daudet. This moving story captures the profound impact of war on the identity and daily lives of ordinary people, specifically focusing on the loss of linguistic freedom. About the author. Alphonse Daudet, 1840–1897, was a celebrated French novelist and short story writer. He is best known for his vivid depictions of life in southern France and his ability to blend sentiment with realism. The Last Lesson is set against the backdrop of the Franco-Prussian War, 1870–1871, a conflict in which France was defeated by a coalition of German states led by Prussia. Following the defeat, the French territories of Alsace and Lorraine were annexed by Prussia, leading to the historical and emotional setting of this story. Detailed story summary. 1. A Morning of Dread. The story is narrated by a young schoolboy named Franz. On this particular morning, Franz is late for school and is terrified of being scolded by his teacher, M. Hamel. Franz is especially worried because he was supposed to prepare a lesson on participles, but he hasn't studied at all. He briefly considers skipping school to enjoy the warm weather and watch the Prussian soldiers drilling, but he eventually finds the strength to resist the temptation and hurries to class. 2. Strange signs. As Franz passes the town hall, he notices a large crowd gathered in front of the bulletin board. For the past 2 years, this board has been the source of all bad news, lost battles and draft orders. He wonders what could be wrong now but doesn't stop to look. Even the local blacksmith, Wachter, calls out to him, saying he has plenty of time, which Franz assumes is a joke. When he reaches school, he is surprised by the unusual silence. Usually, the school is filled with great bustle, the sound of opening desks and lessons being chanted in unison. Today, however, it is as quiet as a Sunday morning. The shocking announcement. Franz enters the classroom, blushing and fearful, but M. Hamel does not scold him. Instead, he kindly asks Franz to take his seat. Franz notices two strange things. Times M. Hamel's attire. The teacher is wearing his beautiful green coat, frilled shirt, and silk cap, outfit he only wears on inspection or prize days. Times the back benches, usually empty, the back benches are filled with village elders, including old Hauser, the former mayor, and the former postmaster. They all look sad. M. Hamel then delivers the thunderclap news. An order has come from Berlin that only German will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. This is to be their last French lesson, as a new master is arriving the next day. 4. Regret and realization. Suddenly, Franz feels a deep sense of regret. He laments the time he wasted seeking birds' eggs or going sliding on the Saar instead of learning his lessons. His books, which once felt like a heavy nuisance, now seem like old friends. He also feels a new respect for M. Hamel, forgetting about the teacher's cranky nature and his iron ruler, realizing the man is heartbroken to be leaving after 40 years of faithful service. 5. The power of language. M. Hamel calls Franz to recite the rule for the participle. Franz gets mixed up and cannot speak, but M. Hamel does not scold him. He uses this moment to explain that people often put off learning, thinking they have plenty of time. He tells the class that the French language is the most beautiful, clearest, and most logical in the world. He makes a powerful point. When a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. 6. The final lesson. The class proceeds with amazing focus. They have a grammar lesson, followed by a writing exercise where M. Hamel has prepared new copies with France, Alsace, written in beautiful handwriting. Even the youngest children and the village elders, like old Hauser, who is crying while reading a primer, are completely absorbed. As the church clock strikes 12 and the Prussian trumpets sound outside, Hamel stands up to speak. He is overcome with emotion and cannot finish his sentence. Instead, he turns to the blackboard, takes a piece of chalk, and writes as large as he can.
Vive la France!
Long live France! Unable to speak further, he leans his head against the wall and simply gestures with his hand. School is dismissed, you may go.